20 years ago, the Allison's Run was established to honor the memory of Jim Allison. He was a teacher, mentor, disciple, elder, friend, uncle, brother, grandfather, husband, and most important to me, father. My name is Kim Allison Douglas, and Jim Allison was my dad. Since his passing, our entire family has been in awe of how much he meant to so many people. Thanks to Lisa Wenner-Songer and especially Ken Morgan, the Allison's Run began in order to raise money for a scholarship in his name. Rain or shine, the run has been a part of Bethany College's homecoming, bringing people together to remember all that my father gave to not only Bethany College, but the entire community.
Doc's one of the reasons that I came to Bethany. Even as a student, I had come in for my preview day, and I had just gotten out of the car. It's 90-some degrees in Bethany. This guy in a three-piece suit jogs up to the car, and he goes, "Hey, you must be Adam Fletcher." And he introduces himself to me and to my parents who are in the car too. He says, "I've got a meeting right now, but I want to talk to you. I'll talk to you before the end of the day." And he runs off. So I go about the meetings that I have on campus, and every so often, this guy in the three-piece suit jogs by going, "I gotta talk to you," and he runs off. At the end of the day, when I'm getting back into my car, Doc jogs up. He goes, "I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to talk to you today, but when you get back on campus in the fall, we're gonna sit down, we're gonna have a cup of coffee, we're gonna have a chat." Now, thankfully, I had several cups of coffee with him when I made it to my 8 o'clock classes. Students, don't follow suit. Plenty of those talks in the office, in the chair outside the office, over a cup of coffee.
One of the things about Jim Allison is that he was an impeccable dresser. You may wonder why I have this hat on in homage to him, because he was the person of the three-piece suit practically all the time. But when we ran together, which we did for probably 10,000 miles, he was dressed in a hat that makes this one look fancy. He was pretty, it's sort of like he let himself go when he ran, became temporarily the person that wasn't the most organized, that wasn't the most dutiful person that there is.
This may be the final Allison's Run, but we will never forget all that my father meant to all involved. Our family would like to thank all of those who have been a part of the run for the past 20 years. Many have come and gone, but their hard work and dedication to this effort is not forgotten. We would like to recognize Lisa Wenner-Songer, who started with an idea and brought it to life. There is another person who's been an integral part of the run every year since its inception, Ken Morgan. Ken has not only given his heart and soul to the run, but he designed the shirts every year, and his personal touch has been heartfelt. Our family would also like to thank all who worked and sponsored the run for all of these years. Your hard work and dedication has kept my father's memory very much alive, and we are forever grateful.
So one of the things about Doc is that he was an extremely giving person in all aspects of his life. One of the phrases that we remember a lot is, "Hey, bring it back when you're done." If that was a book that we had a math question for, we'd go into his office and say, "Hey Doc, what's the question here?" Oh, he knew exactly where the book was, would hand it to us and say, "Bring it back when you're done." But it wasn't just math books. Early one morning, Doc was in his office, as he was wont to do, and he heard some rocks being thrown at the window. And so he finds out that there's a guy standing down below, whose car evidently had stopped and was trying to get where he was going. So Doc invited him up for a cup of coffee and to tell him the story. And the guy says, "Could I get a ride somewhere?" And Doc reaches in his pocket and hands him his keys and says, "Well, I can't leave right now, but my car's down there. Just go ahead and take it where you're going. Bring it back when you're done." Of course, he didn't get the car back, and never saw the guy again. But it didn't really matter to Doc, because somebody was using something, and it was for the greater good.
Beyond Bethany College, he was an active, I'll say, pillar of Bethany Memorial Church. He was an elder. He was one of the people that so many of us look to when we had questions, when we had doubts. He was a rock. He also was an extremely good friend. Our daughter, for example, played high school soccer and scored fairly often. His kids were grown. He came very often to see her play. And we found after a while that whenever she scored a hat trick, a day or two later a hat would appear on our front steps. We didn't know until he confessed about the time she graduated high school that he, in fact, had been the one that had done that. Every single time, on his own, anonymously, and we never knew. That's the kind of person that he was. And I think it's more than just a coincidence that a guy who did not have a doctorate was called Doc by practically everybody. He was such a gentle person, such a caring person that the honorific applied to him probably more than to any of us.
But the big thing about Bethany, Doc was the epitome of, that someone was the most important person there. That we get to call somebody out and say, you are who you are, and we need you here. We need to have that talk. Bethany has a home, a family. So for virtual homecoming weekend, welcome home to Bethany. And Doc, we'll see you again at home plate.